Spotify playlists, more specifically getting your music onto these playlists. That's been the topic of countless YouTube videos and blog articles and social media posts attempting to give you the secret sauce or expose some algorithm hack, or even worse, try to take advantage of you. Now, just like you, I share some of the same frustrations on how Spotify keeps us in amazement year after year, as they seem to only care about keeping their shareholders happy and not actually looking out for the independent artists who feed their machine. But this video is not going to be a venting session because I don't think it's really productive. But what will be productive is me spending this time to really deep dive into the often confusing world of Spotify playlists. And by the end of this video, you'll see how it can be life-changing in your music career if used correctly. And side note, I want to see where you guys are at right now in terms of Spotify monthly listeners. So if you're brave enough to put yourself out there, put those numbers in the comments right now, because I think it'd be really cool to be able to come back after a few months or maybe after a year and see how things have changed for you. So to start, we need to understand what Spotify playlists are. Now, I want to paint this in a different way so that we can all visualize how it works and all get on the same page. So let's say that you and I started a physical product business, such as an energy drink company. We would need that product to get to our target audience or market in order to start getting sales, right? So sure, we could sell it on our own website, but people still need to know about it before that can happen. Now, if we were able to get our energy drinks into all the Walmart stores, the biggest gas stations in each state, and offered them at every gym in the world, we find ourselves very quickly with a huge business, right? But we know that businesses 99% of the time don't blow up like that. So what do? We take our energy drinks to locally owned convenience stores, to privately owned gyms, to local events, to community gatherings, trying to build the brand, trying to build that awareness, that visibility, and get some sales. See, our music in this example is the energy drink. It's something we want the world to experience and give energy to. So finding places where a lot of people already consume other products like that can give us a giant leap forward into momentum. Now, before I get ahead of myself, we need to understand the three different types of Spotify playlists. There's really three core types, right? Spotify curated playlists, user-generated playlists, and then algorithmic playlists. Spotify curated playlists are the ones that you see with the official Spotify logo featured on them. They're built out by actual Spotify staff members who are curators, meaning they scour through a ton of new music looking for songs that they deem a perfect match for that particular playlist. Now, we could submit our songs to these playlists directly through features within Spotify for Artists. But between countless other people submitting their music, as well as the record labels having a partial ownership of Spotify through stocks, it typically takes a lot of independent buzz on a song to get into those official Spotify playlists. These playlists are like getting those energy drinks directly into Walmart, like the example I gave you a minute ago. Now, for most artists, it's kind of like hitting the lottery, because depending on the playlist, your song can get hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of streams very quickly, which could potentially be life-changing. As you could probably tell, official Spotify curated playlists are the most unpredictable in the mix, especially when you're just getting started. Once you have a bigger buzz or you collaborate with others who have been featured in these playlists, it gets a lot easier. Anyway, let's talk about algorithmic playlists for a second. The two most common algorithmic playlists on Spotify would be Release Radar and Discover Weekly, although there are a ton others like Daylist, Daily Drive, and Time Capsule, just to name a few. These playlists are unique to every single user on the platform because it's based on their listening behavior and who they're following on Spotify itself. This is why I'm still personally a big fan of pre-save campaigns for smaller artists, because in my experience, if an up-and-coming artist can even get 50 pre-saves prior to the song releasing, it can trigger these algorithmic playlists. That's because their day one numbers are going to have a noticeable pop for them, which the algorithm picks up on. And I don't want to get off topic here, so let me know if you'd like me to do a deep dive on the pros and cons of pre-save campaigns. All right, so the third type of Spotify playlist is called user-generated playlists. Some people say UGP for short, and this is where the water can get pretty muddy. Let me explain. So user-generated playlists are exactly how they sound, generated by us, the users. Well, kind of. See, you and I can build out our own playlist at any time. We can make a unique mix of songs that we like listening to, or create playlists for friends and family and help them discover new music that we think that they're going to enjoy. And that's the surface level usage. Now, there are thousands upon thousands of playlists that have been curated and created by users who have a bigger vision on how to use this tool. No different than going to an event because a specific DJ that you love will be there. User-generated playlists can gain traction and become really popular with the masses over time through word of mouth, paid ads, and other organic growth methods, such as intentional SEO for Spotify, for example. And this is how it can be a really powerful tool, but can also become incredibly dangerous if you don't know what you're looking for. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, these user-generated playlists often accept submissions from independent artists such as ourselves and add that new music to their playlist, but not all user-generated playlists are what they seem. See, we might be able to see what the monthly stream counts look like on the surface, but unfortunately, those numbers aren't always legit. Let me explain. So these are playlists that attract listeners through paid ads on platforms such as Instagram, for example. While it can bring some legit traffic, it's a double-edged sword. Most of the time, this traffic is irrelevant and it comes from regions that probably don't align with your music's market. Naturally, it dilutes the impact of being featured on those type of playlists, right? And just like anything, there's always going to be people out there who try to game the system at the expense of others. And as Spotify has gained popularity over the years with independent artists, so have the Spotify-related scams that have popped up on countless, playlist promo businesses, and they're going to promise specific streaming numbers in exchange for your hard-earned money. Not all of them are dishonest or scams. That's not what I'm saying at all. Just way too many of them. Now, these dishonest promo schemes run up the numbers using bots typically. And don't get me wrong, major labels have been caught countless times running up numbers with bots too, with the goal of trying to make the artists look more popular than they actually are. But as independent artists, it's not worth the risk of having your profile deleted or you and your music being banned from the platform. It sucks, but if you've ever been ripped off by one of these shady businesses, let us know in the comments below. You're not alone. So why do people fall for those types of things, and how can you avoid being ripped off and lied to? Well, I think most people have the right intentions in mind, and being promised streaming success with no actual work is attractive for anyone. But if you want to build a sustainable career as a musician, you need to know your numbers and build an actual fan base who cares about you, even if that means having to be patient. Now, user-generated playlists that have a lot of traction will typically charge up front to submit your music to them. And not all of them. But if they do, that's okay, if their playlist matches the style of music that you're making and the streams coming in are from real people consuming the music. The people who run these legit user-generated playlists are running them kind of like media businesses, right? Them asking for money isn't the issue. The issue is not knowing who's legit and who's out to make a quick buck. So how the heck do we sort through all of this? How do we determine which playlists are legit and which ones are fluff and infested with bot streams? And how do we even find the contact information for the playlists that are legit so we could submit our music to them? Right? Well, a while back, maybe a couple of years ago, I made a video answering the more surface level question of how do I get on Spotify playlists. If you haven't yet, I'll put the link to that video in the description box below. It's a deep dive into a tool that I love called Playlist Supply. And I love it because it acts like a search engine for finding playlist owners and finding actual details to tell you the valuable data that you need to know in order to tell if a playlist is legit or not. And like I said, that was like a couple years ago. And since then, I've received a ton of feedback from artists and students in my own programs who've used Playlist Supply and have been able to find a ton of relevant playlist curator contact information, but there's a common concern that keeps popping up. Are these playlists actually good? Do they have real engaged followers and traffic? With Playlist Supply, you could search for playlists based on various criteria like genre or keywords, and it provides real-time data, including the curator's contact information. This is like a giant benefit for us. Now, they recently rolled out a new feature called Playlist Vet. This is a massive leap forward. Playlist Vet allows you to analyze the health and quality of a Spotify playlist directly within Playlist Supply. You can now do a detailed assessment on playlist quality before you even consider reaching out to the curator. That's what Playlist Vet does. It uses AI to analyze and rate playlists based on their legitimacy and effectiveness in driving organic traffic. It's like a criminal background check for playlists. So how does it work? In your playlist database, you'll see a health check button. Clicking this triggers Playlist Vet to cross-reference the playlist with the discovered on sections from the artist's profile. This gives you a health score, which is a percentage indicating the quality of the playlist. So for example, a high health score means a high quality playlist, one that's giving artists like you real visibility and traffic. That's important because it means you're not wasting time on low quality, inactive playlists. You can also perform health checks in bulk from the main search page, allowing you to analyze multiple playlists at once, which is another massive time saver. Now, playlists featured in Spotify's Discovered On section are now the gold standard. A presence here means genuine, organic growth and real listeners who are discovering and loving your music. We need to understand the landscape here, guys. Playlist Supply is stepping up to the plate with a powerful new tool, the organic search. This feature isn't just about finding playlists. It's about finding the right ones that boast the most genuine, organic traffic and visibility. Organic search deep dives into the discovered on sections of artists. It's like having a super smart, knowledgeable guide that knows exactly where to look in the limitless Spotify universe. This tool targets playlists marked as discovered on for a specific artist, helping you connect with the playlists that truly matter and gain visibility on the front page of any artist's Spotify profile. Now imagine you're an indie pop artist looking to get your music on the right Spotify playlists. What you do is you enter the name of an artist who's similar to your style in the search bar. Let's use Cade Hoffman as an example. Once you input Cade Hoffman into Playlist Supply's organic search, the tool gets to work. It doesn't just pull any playlist, instead it specifically finds ones where Cade Hoffman is featured in the Discovered On section within Spotify. This approach is precision focused. By targeting playlists associated with artists similar to you, you're tapping into a network that's already receptive to your genre. These are your people. These aren't just any playlists. These are playlists proven to support and elevate artists like you. There you have it. It's easy.
Easy peasy.
Discovered On section of artists that you search for, it provides users with a list of curated playlists where artists similar to you are getting noticed. This is truly powerful. It's not just finding playlists, it's finding the right environment for your music to thrive. With organic search, you're not running around in the dark. You're making strategic, informed moves. It's about placing your music where it's going to resonate, where it's going to grow, where it's going to reach the audience that it deserves. In the past, we just have to trust our gut and take the risk, but we don't have to do that anymore because Playlist Supply provides us with a clear, easy to understand list of facts about these playlists that are going to give you everything that you need to know so you don't waste your time and you don't get ripped off. Now, artists using Playlist Supply have seen significant boosts in their streams and overall music visibility, which at the end of the day, isn't that the main goal when it comes to streaming? I'll have a link in the description box as well as the comments so you can check out Playlist Supply if you haven't yet. I personally feel that this is an essential tool for any musician serious about getting their music heard on Spotify, more importantly, the right Spotify playlists. And like always, guys, I don't expect you to just take my word for it. Like I said, try it out for yourself. Head over to Playlist Supply, find the affordable monthly plan that makes most sense for you, and start finding the best playlists for your music. And remember, this isn't just a database. This is a live, evolving tool that's going to keep you ahead of the game. You need to protect your investment, protect your time, protect your music. So you got to stay safe. If there's any other topics that you'd like me to cover in future YouTube videos, let me know. For example, a lot of people want to know how to grow their fan base rapidly on social media organically, so I recommend them watch this video next, and if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button to join the channel family here. I appreciate everybody watching. Make sure to like if you haven't yet. Leave comments if you've been ripped off, what your monthly streams look like, so we can really connect. And until next time, I appreciate you watching.